Sammy's very kindly invited me back to do Nalbinding with you again. Last video I got a little bit excited and said I was doing the Oslo knot several times when I was doing the Jorvik stitch. Nice on me. This time hopefully I will not be making that same mistake. This is the Jorvik knot again. We're working on a repair job. So I made this glove for somebody and it is way too small. They are very small. They were not as small as I thought they were. So, mentioned last time about how this kind of stitch is a knot so that it can be broken and it won't just completely unream everything. So we've got the thumb hole here. I'm going to split it down the middle here because we know the fingers fit through okay, and it's nice to have a little bit of time to keep clasps and everything on for all kit. So we're going to keep the keep this red bit here where the fingers pop through, split down here, and use this nicer different brown wool to do the stitching in a different way so it looks like it's been repaired. So it doesn't look like it's, you know, not trying to do it so it looks like it's perfect, because that's boring. Right, so here goes destroying hours of hard work. What could go wrong? He said tentatively. Yeah, so I think we covered pretty well the Jorvik knot last time. You know, the historical connotations behind Nalbinding as opposed to crochet and knitting, etc., and how it takes up. I mean, that's apparently quite tough. It takes up a lot of your adult life to get it done. Yeah, we're going to go through it again today, show you how to repair something or improve something, adjust the sizing at least. I'm not going up in a completely straight line because that's boring. Just taking bits and bobs out, sniffing them as they go with these from Wandering Jim's shop in Empire, which is a great little, it's like a LARP Nerds Toys R Us. It's fantastic, and you can get everything from decent scissors like this to teeth. It's a great little place that does absolutely everything, Yeah, what to talk about? So E2 happened. It was very wet. It was very wet indeed. Steph Morris, who is an excellent photographer, has got her new camera and was very excited about it and took lots of pictures of us, the Irontide, digging trenches around our tent. You know, it's difficult to call it a tent at this stage, more like the good ship Irontide. We had a river going through the right hand side of the tent, so we had to get that fixed up, and kudos to that Navari who turned up completely out of the blue, didn't have to help but he did, and came and helped the other orcs dig trenches up in the Bloodcrow and Frostbear area. So if you are that Navari, thank you. I think we've had a little chat on Facebook, found out who you are, and we'll get some tinnies to you as a thank you. You didn't have to help, but you did. That's always appreciated. It's nice when the community comes together. Yeah, so what happened? We did the Senate Guard stuff again. That was thrilling as ever, always good, especially in this absolutely atrocious weather. But it is what it is. It's part of the game, and still enjoying it. Didn't get not so many people try to give us grief this time, which is a bit of a shame. But you know, bad weather, etc., you can kind of forgive people a little bit for that. It went out okay. It's going to be elections for E3. We're looking forward to seeing how that comes out. Whether it's going to go to the current captain or whoever stands against them. So we could leave those unnamed because that's not fair, but something to keep an eye on for me at least, because that's my little slice of the game, so I'm not interested in. Right, there we go. There's hours of work ruined. I'll just unpick all this nonsense. And each little, well, you see them all pop up, these little threads here, pull them, tightens the knots straight back up, and all of a sudden we've got loops again that we can use to do a repair. In this case an improvement, so it actually fits the person who asked for it. You know, which is a bit of a shame because it's one of the Armchair Armory lot who did the hair on Jarn's mask, Jarn being me, and did a jaw-dropping job, and this was part of the trade exchange, so I feel absolutely dreadful that I didn't get it right the first time. I thought I did. I thought I was being big and clever by making one bigger than the other. Turns out that was neither big nor clever, so well done me. Pat on my back. There we go, it's all getting there slowly. Yeah, it was a good event though. It's one thing that can't really be mentioned enough is the community that the Imperial Orcs have. So it sounds a little bit boastful talking about your own nation in a positive light, doesn't it? But one thing we have got going on is a very good sense of out-of-character community. I've been in other nations, like I mentioned in the video where I sat on board your wall half to death with Jorvik Notting. I've been in other nations and they're good. There's nothing to detract from them. Varushka is fantastic, Wintermark is fantastic. But one thing that the Orcs have got up, I think it's just because of the kind of roleplay that we do and the kind of costume level that's kind of expected of us almost, is we come together as a community to help each other out a lot. Whether that be something as simple as just a bit of advice on making kit, to more complex things like how to properly portray hearing the ancestors, for example. If you go up and ask one of the shamans or an oath rite, something like that, about how to, if you want a bit of help with your roleplay, you're bombarded with information, which is fantastic again. We all came together as one and all helped each other out during this horrible weather. It's not quite Storm Katie. I think that'll live long and hard in everybody's minds. Same thing as always, by the way, with the York Stitch 1, 2, 3. And then we just pick up the loops and we'll continue. This scruffiness here will be removed. Or if it comes out on the outside, we'll keep it because it looks quite good. We'll see how it goes. Start from the bottom over here. Pick up all this nonsense. Tighten up some knots. There we go. Right. Yeah, we got loops. We're all good. A bit paranoid there. Everybody came together, helped out each other, made sure everybody was okay, which is the big thing, because it's fairly well known, isn't it? If someone says they're okay, they might not be. Ask again, and we've got that down pretty well now. So people were asking, double checking, making sure everybody was happy. Chris and Ed, our egregores, were as always absolute champions, making sure that everybody who was there might not be having the best of time in the world at that stage, were at least having some sort of good time. They're doing their job. It's a job that I don't think they're paid for or anything like that. I think it's a gratuity, you come to your empire for free kind of thing. But if they do watch this, it's appreciated. Ed, what a character. He plays the Grud that thinks, which is a bit of a moniker the two Gruds have got. So we've got Legionnaire Grud and Reaver Grud. We've got the Grud that does, being Legionnaire Grud, portrayed by Chris, and the Grud that thinks, the Reaver Grud, portrayed by Ed. And Ed came over from the Marches. He used to play Magic Errol, and he was a character as well. He was fantastic fun to always interact with. Always gave us a good game. So come over and is just continuing to give absolutely solid game to everybody. Part of the last part of my event, I had to go and drop off a evacuation plan, very kindly supplied by PD because of the weather, to my very, very close friend who gives us a lift. Really kind guy. And obviously you're an orc, you don't walk alone, so I saw Ed there sort of milling about. I was like, do you want to walk us over to Wintermark? Unbeknownst to me, Ed, who had lost yet another limb through means we'll not talk about on this, that's to be found out in the field, was begging at this point. He'd got himself a bowl, the Grud that thinks, had got himself a bowl and was wandering about the place asking people for money. So we had a bit of a different experience where you're apologising for your egregore, which is fantastic. There's not many other places you go, I'm so sorry about my egregore. It's just the way he came out, which is great, absolutely great. Provided a lot of game for a lot of people, a lot of experiences for other people. Again, something we touched on, wasn't it, being the experience for others. Ed takes that to the nines and really, really portrays something incredibly different, which is wonderful. yeah, that was interesting. So we went through Wintermark with Ed begging. Another Wintermarker, quite a well-known chap, I think. I remember him from when I was in there. He seems to be playing the same character. Yeah, told Grud about potato farming in Scarsund, because this character used to live in Scarsund. You know, do it on the green, not the brown, on the grass, not the mud. And Grud took to that with gusto, and now Grud wants to be a potato farmer. He wants to grow potatoes. And now he's not begging, he's making an investment in his farm. After making quite a lot of money, actually, which is depressing to see, because of course, as Imperial Look, I rely on a bone setter, someone I give my wealth to. Theory being that the bone setter for the Legion will take that wealth, trade with it, expand upon it, and when I need it as a Legionnaire, when I need it, I can ask for it, and there'll be no problems about it coming back. And for what is quite a small investment, what I get given is arms, armour, beer money, potions, what I need as a Legionnaire to do my job, if that makes sense. I don't think there's any real delicate way of putting it, so just do my job, which is of course fight. And that brings us nicely onto the battle, the Crush. What an experience. I think the last time I had a battle that bad, the Sunhounders got wiped out. So showing humongous loyalty to each other, the Sunhounders bravely, stupidly, courageously, ambitiously, however you want to see it, had the moral courage as players at least to die together, which was brilliant. You know, excellent roleplay, because that's something you don't really get, is something, a player doing something getting wiped out. And you know, not just like, oh, they've lost some of their more important characters, I mean completely wiped out. You know, it was a shock to everybody, I think. You know, even the Reavers were mortified by it. You know, it's a very stark reality about how Empire works when it comes to combat, which, whether you agree with or disagree with, I like the fight. I'm on the ropes about certain methods when it comes to executions and things like that. I'm not a fan, but that's my opinion, nobody else's. But yeah, it's sort of a little bit of a reality check for everybody. Me at that point, I was brand spanking new into the Orcs. You know, I had one player event and then one event, and then that happened, and that was woof, you know. And I was lucky or unlucky enough. At that point, I was Cole. I was a one event death, unfortunately. It's Irontide Cole, and got to witness proper roleplay from the Sunhounders during their death, which was excellent. And you know, it was a thing to see as a new player, just to sort of get things right. Because I think a lot of people do, whether it's changing nation or joining Empire, your first time there, you're not going to get everything right. There's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so many words in that wiki that one mind can absorb in one go. So, yeah, we were watching and listening to the Sunhounders, all excellent role players, roleplay how an Orc banner was going to die together, and it was good in its own macabre way. You know, they were singing, you know, the ancients together, you know, holding arms, holding hands as they were cut down by the Druge, the terrible Druge, and that was the end of the Sunhunters. Which was a shame, but I had some wonderful interactions with the Sunhunters as Cole. You know, obviously them being the consummate artisans. When I wanted armour, Flax would send me to the Sunhunters. And I remember having a chat with Kirik, Sunhammer Kirik, who I'm sure won't mind me name dropping, who asked me what I was going to do with this armour. You know, so it wasn't freely given. I wanted to make sure I was worthy of it, which was excellent because it made me think, which is amazing. And I had to come up on the spot, you know, I was like, oh, okay, with a decent tale. Thankfully I did, got the nod, and got my first set of magical armour bonded to me, which didn't help because I died anyway, but anyway, that's what happened. And yeah, it was great, I enjoyed it. So yeah, you can see the new stitching. And I'll hold this up a little closer because you never. I saw the last video, it's too far away. Yeah, so stitching still the Orvik stitch, but going a different direction entirely, using the loops from the broken wool here to make up, and there'll be 5 or 6 lines underneath the thumb hole, just completely separately done, and that will extend the glove over the wrist, which is where the target point is. That's where it's not fitting, and make it look a little bit different, make it look like it's been made and remade, which is wunderbar. Yeah, so what to talk about today? I can't remember where I really left off with the last one. I think left off with the last one with just talking about nonsense, so we'll continue that trend and talk about nonsense. So something good that happened. Our yarn and raw. We had our second or third. I think it's the third technically. Yeah, third technically dancing day. And yeah, that's something worth talking about actually, because that's something that's progressed on very naturally and organically as the game goes. And it can kind of go on to something a little bit different as well. So yeah, we'll talk about that. So dancing. This started off, as I think has been mentioned by both myself and Andrea, as a joke. We wanted to annoy Gabriel, and we kind of did, but unfortunately that guy's got the patience of a saint, so mission failed. But yeah, that troll has turned into something else because we're both quite competitive. So it did turn into something where it's like the blind orc and the second legionnaire soldier dancing, never going to work, to actually, I don't like that people are better than me, let's get this down. So we've got sidestepping down, like to perfection. There's no one that can sidestep to bowls of olives like Yarn and Raw. And we got bouncing down. That was knackering. The last dance that we did, we were told to, how to describe it? So you got your leader and your follower with your hands up, you know, as it is. So one hand for the leader like that, with the follower's hand on top, follower's hand on the leader's like shoulder, tricep area, while mine was underneath that arm. And we were told to keep our hips apart but chests together, with our legs sort of like that, so you know, lead leg forward and rock back and forwards like that. Now the instruction given was this is going to be an orky dance. We want drum beats, and we had Bull come in reluctantly with the drums. You know, life is good because it's varied. And you know, there's a good beat going on. Bull, the guy that plays Bull, doesn't give himself enough credit. He's got a good sense of rhythm. He's a good guy. I really enjoy interacting with Bull. The very few times we've had, we're due a bit of a falling out, which is wonderful. I've got a big thank you for that one, for involving, you know, for Bull involving me in his side of the game. That's a very noble thing to do, and I appreciate it. You know, thank you, Sammy. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, so big beat going on, incredibly good musician group. You know, the guys that run Certain Motions surround themselves with competent people. So there was, you know, incredible music going on, and we were told to stomp. So stomp we did. So of course you've got a blind orc who doesn't know what's going on or what anybody else is doing. I'm having to try to describe in character. You put your foot, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, you know, hips akimbo, chest together, and then we are to jump, rock, and stomp. So we stomped, and this rocking motion didn't happen. We were jumping. So it was bang, 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 bang with each foot. I put this up on here for this purpose. This is my war skirt. You know, lots and lots and lots of bits and bobs in it. Loads of little bits of flavour. My little items of worth, rings, you know, bits that fell out of my hair, thanks Chloe. And just lots of little stories, lots of stories to tell. It weighs a ton. And I was not happy. Yeah, I consider myself a fairly physically fit guy, but that broke me. My thighs were burning. And Andrea, was fine, unfortunately. So I was there going like, you know, latex mask, this monstrosity. I'll get one of my boots in a minute if you can't see it already. You know, great big boots. I was not having a good time doing that, and thankfully it changed again. Oh yeah, it was good. The dancing went well. Loads of orcs turned up to it and started doing it. We had Vox who turned up and started dancing with somebody. Russ grabbed Aurora, started dancing. I wonder how Crunk will feel about that. And it was grand. Everybody had a good time, as always. You know, Gabriel, the people that run this, I don't want to just keep saying Gabriel because I know other people are involved in the set emotions. I don't want to devalue them. You know, there's the lass from the Brass Coast who's always really nice, always smiling. I like her. She helps run it as well in a lot of ways. I think she's going to be doing it sounds like there's someone else doing some salsa next time. That's going to be interesting if that comes along. Yeah, everybody was having a good time, happy, smiling. And Grauka came and ruined it all. Thanks, Grauka. And everybody, well, a few orcs had to go and do Redacted. That's for the field as well. And thankfully, we finished up our dance day in the pit, which was very good, very flavourful. I wonder what their ancestors have to say about, you know, doing a human dance in the pit, even if it is built for orcs. You know, this dance created by the League for orcs. But finished off they couldn't find a bear. Good roleplay happened. Went to Urizen through Grauka. Came and redeemed herself superbly. And we went to this place, this tent where people apparently just simply don't want to stop role playing and fair play. You know, it never feels like got enough hours in a day for it. And you know, there was singing, there was drink, there was any hospitality, which is something I've never come across before. I've never really interacted with the Urizen as an Imperial Orc because they are our polar opposites. We're very tactile. We like to, you know, be close to each other. You know, I don't want to say touch each other, but just be close to each other. You know, and no concept of personal space or anything like that. Whereas the Urizen are the polar opposite. They need their personal space. You know, and we were talking about that. You know, Arate, all the rest of it, with a very, very, thankfully, very, very well-read Urizen player. I've not really read the Urizen brief much, just by what I know from it. You know, it's about the poise and things like that, and you know, a time and a place for emotions, and how to use them in the correct manner, in the correct place, in the correct way. So if you're angry for the right reason, at the right time, in the right place, etc., etc. It's got a midget on my nose. And Grauka broke that one by singing a song that broke an entire tent of Urizen, had some of them in tears, with a nice happy orc song, about lovely happy subjects like death and slavery and all that good stuff, which was fantastic fun. Yeah, nearly to the top of this one now. Hopefully we'll be able to show that it'll neaten up, because it's all like, you know, it's all quite haphazard with the snips in it. It all goes up. But yeah, and that was the highlights of my event really. I mean, the battle was okay. I prefer it when, I mean, this is all personal of course, when there's a little bit more organisation, if that makes sense. I mean, the fort was amazing. It's so cool to fight in that. But getting crushed and stuff like that, and you know, crushing others, you know, no fault of your own. You know, as a second, I wear a lot of armour, so we always have to be very, very conscious of the fact that people might be smaller than you, and you're wearing a lot of armour. It's all safe. It's all, you know. For instance, I use Starguild stuff a lot, and it's got rounded edges. You know, so it goes to 4 mil thick on the edges to make sure it's rounded, so it won't hurt people's LARP weapons, and most importantly, won't hurt people. But it's still steel, isn't it? So, you know, I had a guy who fell down, got up, and bounced his head off my gauntlet, and you know, he yelped out, and a lot of sorries to him, saying, yeah, that's okay, you know, shaking it off. But yeah, it gets a little bit bare at that time. You know, you're being very self-conscious about who you're around and all the rest of it, which you are in a battlefield anyway, but you're being self-conscious for the wrong reasons. You're being self-conscious that you're not going to tread on your mate's arm or his head or her thigh. You don't want to hurt people. So we do all do this for fun. You spend your money to go and have fun, and parts of the battle are fun. There's the squidgy moments are good. They're needed. You need to feel like there's a sense of danger. Otherwise, what's the point? But everything in moderation, So there's all icy reasonings as to why we're in that fort largely alone. I think we had a few mercenaries that stayed with us. So hats off to them. Yeah, that was different. Yeah, so getting to the top of this, when I'm done with this, we'll talk shop about some nonsense in the pouches and bits and bobs, and what all this stuff in front of you that I'm stitching on is. So got this is my little pouch. That one there is for, it never really gets used, to be honest, because it's on my bum, and that's covered by my great big jacket, which is, you kind of feel like, I'm covering up all my good bits when you put the jacket on, but the jacket is such an iconic piece of kit, you can't not wear it. There's solid icy reasoning behind all the rest of it. I'm currently building up a waistcoat so I can tuck it in underneath the war skirt like I do in my tunics, with the Irontide colours on it, so I can kind of get away with showing off a little bit of the work up into the war skirt. But yeah, there we go. That's the end stitch there. Right, so take off, simple as this. Boom, done. Yeah, and then you can see where the old fluffy stuff is, and there's the new thread there, done it a completely different way. So you can see on the inside where it's all gone a little bit fluffier. But yeah, that's how I'm extending this anyway. It's not the correct way to do it. The correct way to do it would be to extend it still in the circular rotations and all the rest of it, but this looks like it's been repaired, so we'll stick with that. Get this out, tighten it all up and knot it off. I'll talk about some stuff, because why not? Here we go. Let's get rid of all this nonsense. Tighten it all up. But yeah, so Jorvik stitch again. Maybe next time we'll actually do the Oslo knot here. It is a bit more complex, a bit more complicated. It's still the same old stuff. Either your wooden nail, or actually remember to bring this time. This is my very neat little pouch of needles. It's a lot thicker, but this is one made out of bone. I got from a reenactment store. It's very authentic. This would have been what people used way back when to get it done. So this shape, this size, it's all this is all Providence. So this is the size that we were done with. I mean, personally, I prefer these because they're a lot thinner, a lot more thick one side, thin on the other, so it's easier to slide up and over your thumb. Whereas this one here, you're raking yourself to get the thing through. It's having to push it down with the palm of your hand, etc., etc., to get it nice and tight. But yeah. So maybe next time we'll do the Oslo stitch. Sammy's been incredibly kind, incredibly benevolent, and let us be on his channel for a second time. So we'll talk about some nonsense that isn't Nalbinding for a little bit. Like this war skirt, what it's all about. Get all this off and show you what's on this. So, bottle opener from the Bearded Pig Forge, local maker up in Kent. He plays an Imperial Orc now. He used to be a Varushkin, the same group as me. He's fantastic, really nice chap, absolute misery guts, so I sympathise with him on a spiritual level. It's a great icy way to have a bottle opener because it doesn't look like a bottle opener. He calls this one his squirrel tail, I believe. Really, yeah, you can kind of see it. Yeah, I like that. So we've got this. This is too small for my fat fingers. There we go, my little ring with the sun on it, winter sun. I'll figure out something that's never really been displayed for. I'll figure out something to do with that ring at some point, I think, during the roleplay. I might keep it hidden for now and just think about what to do with it. A braid from a Varushkin, from Redacted. We'll leave that one for the field again. I'll choose to talk about this one when I want to. But yeah, it's a Varushkin's braid. Part of the Varushkin tradition is someone will braid something for them when they go to battle, and it'll get unbraided when they come back. Normally their hair, but people with short hair get braids like these. This one hasn't been unbraided, has it? So somebody didn't come back from battle. Yeah, there's a little story there to be told at some point when it's the right time. It's the right time to tell the story. A tooth in a bowl, bought by me from the Goblin Workshop, who's again another ex-Varushka. There's a lot of crafty people in Varushka apparently. But yeah, there's plans for this, isn't there, Ashbourne Ball? We've got plans for this one. That stays in a little bottle there on my belt at the moment, but that's not going to go on my belt for much longer. One money pouch, empty, as always. Yeah, on a belt clip, never gets used. It's just a prop, but knuckle duster. And the Irontide symbol, passed down to me from Irontide Scar. Just a nice bit of leather with some paint on it, and I've added a pewter horse to it from, I can't remember their name, I'm going to kick myself for it, but he's a pewter guy that sells pewter badges at Empire. Proper imperial horse, fangs, horns and all. Yeah. Got my big old Jotun-like pouch of things that I like to take out when I go for dinner with people, of all things. So yeah, we'll get on to that in a second. There's still more to go with the war skirt. Here we go. The rest of it. Here is a gift from another Imperial Orc. It fell off them, and they very kindly, very sweetly just clipped it around my neck. And it kept getting caught in my tunic, so I had to put it on this belt here from, well, belt pouch here from the Armchair Armories, which is amazing. This is probably my favourite belt pouch, just because you can fit so much stuff in it. I keep my my very, very, very important things in there, like my necklace for the Irontide. You know, every Irontide wears one of these. You know, I've customised mine with hair beads. Some beads that were awarded to me by a Wintermarker as a thank you for rescuing them, which is very sweet. Resdas and a sewing kit, yeah, essentials. Let's get that all back in there. And what is that? Oh, bakery card, yeah, I like cake. Fair point, right, there's a reason I send the safety pouch then, we do like cake. A symbol for the 2nd Legion. This was made by one of the Irontide, one of the newer guys is a welder, and he made a beautiful brand with the Summerstorm symbol on it. Branded lots of, was kind enough to give us all one, which was really, really, really sweet of him. He didn't have to do it, and he did. So that was really kind of him. Let's pop that back. Talk about what I would bring to a meal out, what I do bring to meals out, because I like going out and interacting with other nations. So, first things first, best whiskey. Don't go anywhere without it. An actual knife. This is a Stanley knife that I've had for a long time. It's very, very, very good. It keeps very safely in there. I don't take that out with me unless it is well packed up in this box. What else have we got? Oh, there's loads of stuff in here. Chopsticks. Okay. Can't go wrong with chopsticks. A bamboo drinking straw. You'll understand the importance of these if you ever wear an orc mask and you try to drink something. This is essential. I bought a pack of 20 and I leave it in the tent, and everybody who sees me noisily slurping away at the bottom of cups when people are trying to have polite conversation now has one. But yeah, bamboo drinking straw, always, all day. What else we got? Charcoal discs, and I would imagine if my charcoal discs are in here, holder for them, and I've left, not in there at the moment, I've got frankincense which you sprinkle on top of it, and it makes nice smells for places that humans know that they stink. 1 spoon. Oh, that's tinder. Some nice dried tinder for tea. So you can fit a surprising amount in these pouches, can't you? And the essentials, hand warmers. I always keep a lot of these because I don't really tend to use them for myself because my hands are very well covered. I wear PU coated gloves with a dust sheet wrapping put all around my wrists. I wear my wrist wraps quite high. They come to about there on my arm. So well, my hands are never really a problem. I've been cold before, don't get me wrong, because clever layering for the heat unfortunately doesn't go well for the cold, but yeah, perfect. What else we got? Tiger Balm, that is mainly used for pranking other Irontide. And Eating Spike, very good one as well. I think this one's from Grim Frost. My partner bought me it for Christmas. This is nice, isn't it? One spare Irontide necklace for when I inevitably lose my one. A chain. 2 pieces of chalk. Breath mints because I quite like the little vial that they came in. They look like frog eggs. So if anybody ever asks when I'm eating one, it's a frog's egg. Slightly bigger Nalbinding needle. One graphite pencil with the logo scrubbed off. Absolute lifesaver when you want to take notes in the field and you want something icy. Brilliant little things, very cheap as well. And a flint and steel, which does work. He said making it not work. Let's pretend that sparks came out and it was all amazing. Yeah, that was grand stuff. Right? Yeah, that all goes together, doesn't it? Just for flavour, there's hardly any of this gets used, but sometimes it's nice when you're sat down, in character of course, and you rifle through your bag and produce some whiskey, you know, something to eat with. So I combine this knife with my Eating Spike, and that's my cutlery. That's what I eat with. Yeah, obviously straws, chopsticks, a little bit of charcoal and all the rest of it. It's nice to have it in a decent sized bag like this that you can just grab, off you go. You know, someone's invited you out, right, there's some role play tools, off I go to enjoy my time out. You know. Yeah, what else have we been up to? Calligraphy. The orcs are well educated, so I have completely butchered a calligraphy alphabet. And yeah, put the stamp on it as well for Providence because, you know, an orc likes to have their name everywhere, don't they? You know, if I've helped someone, I want to know that it's me. I want them to know that it's me that's done something for them, not just some complete stranger randomer. So, you know, Providence and all the rest of it, earning your legend. You know, and what better way to earn your legend than providing education? You know, that being so important for Imperial Orcs. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up actually. So this went through Nalbinding, wasn't it? That's what we were talking about again. Got off subject again, yeah. So how to split, start and then continue the repair. So basically this will just keep going up and up and up and up until we get about that much, I imagine. Like more than enough room for the person to go about in. I mean, I can get I've got ridiculous fingers. I can get my 4 fingers through the finger hole, so I know that she can get hers through there, no worries at all. And yeah, keep that going until there's enough room to be mucked about with, so it's nice and better than what it was. And you know, actually fits, wouldn't that be good? Well, bit of a short video this time, but thank you very much again for listening to me talk about nonsense for quite a long time.